Hello, everyone. Welcome to Brain Candy Podcast, 15 Minutes of Blame. After much ado, we've been trying to arrange this for months. I finally harassed her into it. Amaya, welcome.
Hi, Susie.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either.
We can just pretend like it's just me and you, and we're just like drinking wine even though we're not.
Yeah,
And, having a nice chat.
it is
People
after, but
haven't
yeah.
seen you in ages, and I have lots of, questions about you. I want to know what you're up to. I want to start with the beginning.
The beginning.
Well, I always like to find out how the heck you ended up in the crazy reality world in the first place.
By sheer accident.
What
I
happened?
I was heading into San Francisco. I was like home for a college break, and I was heading into the city. We were actually going to go to Berkeley, and then we last minute decided to go to San Francisco. And there was this line outside of Planet Hollywood, and we said, "How lame! I bet it's for the Real World tryouts," and it was. And we had nothing better to do, so we just stood in line.
No,
Yeah,
just for
and
just
he
for
was going to do.
giggles.
Yeah, just for whatever, shits and giggles, which is how most of the things happen in my life. I just see what's up.
What were you doing in that time of your life? What moment were you in?
At that period in my life, I was kind of in a weird, I don't know what the hell I'm doing next because I'm super nerdy and I graduated from college early. I was done with everything. So um, it was just kind of another challenge just to see what the hell was happening. And the entire process, I was like, I'm not going to do this. I cried when they told me that I got it. I did not want to go.
Why? What did you think?
I just was like, I don't want to do this stupid shit. I have other things going on. And I was actually supposed to originally be on road rules. But because they were doing semester at sea and it was college courses, I was like, why am I doing that? Because I'm done with school. So I ended up doing real world instead. So they put me on that one instead.
So you were kind of not thinking this was going to be a great idea.
No. And I was right. Just no, not really, but yeah, I was
Your
right.
intuition was not unfounded. So you show up, and everybody, of course, remembers the first episode of your season because it was bonkers, and
Mhm.
it felt. I don't know if it felt like this at the time for you, but it felt like for the viewers, like something shifted in the
Mhm.
reality universe. Did it feel like that for you, or you didn't have a sense of it?
I mean, reality TV wasn't a huge thing back in 99, 98 when I was auditioning. And I'd been a kid television news reporter, and I actually did a story on Real World San Francisco way back in the day. And I watched the show. Like, I had a crush on Eric Meese. I was like a little kid. And, so it was weird. And being there, I was in such shock. And I had such anxiety. I mean, I did not learn until later how bad, like, I have anxiety and I have ADHD and all these things. And I wish I'd known a little bit more back then. So I would have been able to have the tools to work with that
Yeah.
really crazy environment. And it's hard to be yourself. And because you didn't know how reality television worked, because there wasn't really a template at that point in time, you didn't know how to navigate around. So you're just a dumb 21-year-old saying stupid shit, do stupid shit, and it's forever caught in celluloid. It's like, that's your life. So here I am, I'm 40, and people
Wow.
will still ask about the damn pig's feet from the challenge. Yes, I'm tired. And it was not a sausage egg McMuffin. We ate at a little diner and I thought I was having chicken sausage, but that's not the point because the worst part was we shouldn't have eaten when there was a pie eating challenge. Like, I would have loved to know that there was a pie eating challenge because I would never have eaten all that crap at breakfast. And we all threw up after that. But sorry, I'm not talking anymore about the stupid sausage. So
Is that the thing? Like they always want to know about that dumb sausage?
somebody always brings that shit up, and somebody
That's so
always brings
funny.
up I get always hurt on the challenges, which of course I did because I'm the most unathletic human being in the world. I don't know if you guys know, but like the old school thing was real world people, we were smokers and lazy. And then the road world, you guys actually went to the gym. Like you guys actually worked out. So going on those challenges, it was just a bunch of like lazy people. And then you awesome gung ho folks who were like, so yes, I always get hurt and I will still get hurt to this day.
Well,
Throw a
and
ball at me, I'll do this.
I just talked to
So yeah.
Norm, and he had done a few challenges, and he was saying the same thing, how he had to go to the hospital. And back then, it was like, it was more like a party thing, and then these competitions were like a sideshow. And
Yeah.
now it's like the whole event really is like competing for all this money. But like, we weren't prepared. We just thought it was going to be like, okay, we'll just like do an obstacle course or something.
Oh yeah.
So everyone
Like
would get hurt all the time.
yeah, all these people are like, I look at the stuff now and I'm just like, what is the insurance like on these? Must be insane. I was in at least 2 or 3 ambulances, I think, on my first
The hell
challenge.
happened to you? What happened?
The first time I was in an ambulance was because we did this demolition derby and we had smashed so much, like the exhaust poured into the car, like the dashboard broke. And so we were just like, we couldn't breathe. So that was the first time. This, and I don't remember if there was an ambulance involved, but it was during the football game. And I got this huge egg on my arm because I don't know how football is played. And I just put my arms up so that I wouldn't get hit. And the third time, of course, was when I lost my skydiving toggle and crashed into the ground for a skydiving challenge, like a mission.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but you want to know what?
What?
Now I just like hang out with my cats. I don't jump out of planes.
Right. You sowed your wild oats.
I'm done.
Yeah, you're done. You did it. It's enough. You went in the ambulance 3 times.
Yeah. But yeah, reality TV is so different now. And I feel bad for some of the people, but not really, because you kind of know what you're getting into. You do.
I mean, maybe. Well, people that do it over and over, I think the kids that come in for the first time, they still don't know. Because how could you really know
Yeah.
the immersion of it? Because when you showed up in Hawaii, what was I don't know, what does it look like in a real world house? I've never been in one.
It's, first of all, our house was really small. I think we had one of the smallest houses out of all of the shows. And it's because we were in the guest house of a main house.
No.
I showed up and I was just like, I'm a kid who's never had a bunch of money. I'm always broke. I'm like a paycheck to paychecker. And so walking into this environment, you're like, wow. What was really funny to me, and because we would walk down the street in Hawaii and our names were fuck you, MTV. That's what everybody would scream while we were walking by. And all these people would be like, fuck you, rich kids on this show. I was like, I don't know who on this, like in this house is rich. Like, I don't think any of these kids came from rich families. I certainly didn't. And I don't know many of the real world kids who did. And road rules as well. So it's like they assume that we're rich because we're on a show making like no money. And back when I was there, we couldn't, we had to pay for our own food. We didn't have stocked booze, and we had to pay for our own phone calls. We couldn't, like, the internet was spotty. We found out about Columbine like a week after it happened.
Wow.
There's a weird kind of insulated time back then.
Well, yeah, and you were not on the mainland, so Hawaii's kind of like that to begin with.
Yeah.
And they probably made that more so.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Very, very isolated. And living on an island is a very interesting experience.
Well, and you were in the seasons after which you had to have a job, right? You worked at like a surf shop or something?
We had a job. I mean, all these jobs are it's all set up. It was people would just show up to these things that we planned, and it was just, but we all took the money. None of us were that smart with it. Like, I was always a guess. It was the 90s. I was a guess buying clothes. And...
Well, you had to look cute. Come on. Do you look back and think like, wow, I looked adorable? Because you didn't like the picture I chose just now on Twitter.
Oh my God. First of all, I was wearing capri pants. I love these weird platform sandals that I had, and my makeup was so shiny and terrible.
You looked pretty. You always did. And everybody wore those sandals. Come on.
I Yeah, I actually wish I kind of still had them. Like I wish I had a T-Mobile Sidekick. I keep talking about that. I want my T-Mobile Sidekick back so bad.
I abused my privileges with my T-Mobile Sidekick and they shut it down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because at
Too
the
many-
time my now husband lived in Thailand, so I just called him and the bill was $10,000 for 1 month.
Oh my God.
And they were like, domestic calls only, domestic calls only. I'm like, that's not what the contract says. But
No.
they shut it
Love.
down.
That
There,
bill is love.
yeah, come on now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you show up in the house, it's nuts. And did you think at that point, like, I'm going to get along with these people? Or were you like, this is going to be a nightmare?
I mean, I didn't know what the hell I was going to expect. I really didn't have anything. I just had like my heart beating in my throat and freaking out and did not know what to think. None of us knew what to think. Like the first week, we were constantly saying, "Can you believe we're on The Real World?" And the production told us to stop saying that. And yeah, and they're like, "Please don't swear so much," yada, yada, yada. So we got a talking to. But our crew was so fantastic. I'm friends with a lot of people who are behind the scenes to this
Who
day,
was
and it's
your, like, showrunner?
Matt Kunitz was
Oh,
our.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I love him.
I love Matt.
Yeah, those guys that are, and they're still doing great work. I mean, they really loved they believed in the documentary process, I think.
They were more respectful of our space, and they didn't have the porno cameras set up, the night vision and all that, and they gave us privacy when we needed it, and were really great to talk to. I think now it's just like producers are doing what they have to do, which is to get the story, and they don't care. I mean, there's always going to be the thing where producers pit people against the other. You'll be in an interview. Did you hear what blah 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 said about you? I'm like, no, what did they say? So, yeah, I mean, it's all kind of a gnarly process, and it's
Does it
hard to come.
feel like, what is it like psychologically when you're in it?
When you're in it, you just feel, I mean, for me, I felt trapped and so unlike myself. And I just wanted to get back to my life, my real stuff. And for me, like any of the challenges I did, that was because I needed some money. It wasn't for like, ooh, I can't wait to go and be on TV. Yeah, it's like I needed money, so I went back, and after the two, that was the end. Never again.
You were just done.
Oh hell yes! I did not want to hang upside down from some stupid shit. I didn't want to like be barfing from whatever weird food we had, and no, I just couldn't do it anymore, and I wanted to be a little bit more normal. And I hid for like the first few years, and that's why I dyed my hair dark brown. I mean, I had dark brown hair for 14 years because I did not want anybody to know who I was. And despite the fact that I've had customer service people tell me they named their kid after me, it's just like,
That's nice.
yeah, they're like, Amaya. I'm like, do you know what that name means?
Is it bad? What does it mean?
It means end, like the end of an era. So it's
Oh,
kind of,
yeah, but it's deep and like, yeah.
yes, it's murky
Why do you think they cast you in the first place? What was it about you?
because I'm crazy. Because I don't give a shit. I just talk about whatever, and I'll say what, especially at this point, I'm telling you, 40 is great because things just roll right off your back. Back then, I was super emotional. Everything was like right on the surface, and I was ready to talk. And I frankly used the Real World audition process as free therapy
Mm-hmm.
at that point because it was great just to talk about things. And, you know, my eating disorder had been brought up on the show, even though I didn't have it at that point. But it was a talking point that they had brought up. And just like all the other people who have gone through serious things and people watching had never seen somebody talk about this or have the same thing that maybe they have. That was something that was kind of good and bad. I mean, I ended up going around with Veronica for years talking about eating disorders at colleges, and body image. And so that ended up being something great that came out of it. But a lot of things were just weird, just weird. I did not like having my anonymity taken away.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the thirsty A-types who've done it are okay with it, but I've never been very comfortable with it.
It felt like a violation.
It feels like your privacy and your like a piece of yourself is kind of out there, and all these people are holding on to it, and you don't have it as a private thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's you don't know what you're getting into. Now you do, but or kind of, but it's just now I think people are more thirsty. Back then it was more naive and
Yeah, well, I definitely think people are more savvy about how to become more of a persona instead of revealing those private things.
yeah.
Do you have regrets? Like, would you do it differently now or not do it at all?
I think that if I could take it back, it's kind of hard to say because there's some people who I just love so much and I would never have met them if it hadn't been for this experience. But man, I have a feeling that I would be in a different place in my life now because everything kind of got thrown off course. I had a definitive plan before I graduated school, like what I was going to do and the steps I would take. But this process really did kind of turn me into a kind of permanent kid in a way.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. But I never got to fully become who I wanted to be, I guess, in some ways.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's like it stunted your maturation, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Because you're caught in this strange world. And, I had already at that point experienced a lot of this town, LA, and I knew what I wanted to be, but I was very cautious because of this experience and something that had happened a little bit earlier in my life too. Dealing with this industry was a different animal.
Yes. Yeah. Well, but you're still in kind of the industry, right?
Yes, I am. So I still do some stuff, but I try to do other things too. Like I do one of my things is I organize people's homes because as a ADHD crazy Virgo, it's like the best thing for me to do is to go in and throw all your shit away and then make your life organized.
Oh my God, that's so satisfying.
Well, it's that sense of finding balance, which I think gets derailed if you do a show and come out of it and you have that splash of celebrity for a minute and then it goes back to real life. And the people who've managed to disappear, like you never see Dominic. Where the hell's Dominic?
Mm-hmm. I know I'm friends with him on Facebook, but I won't say anything because I don't want him to go away.
Yeah, exactly. And he's happily maintained his life and so have a lot of other people. So I think there's a way to disappear, but I think it's harder if number one, you have this voice.
Yeah.
This voice gives me away.
Right.
And the name, it's just like I can't even hide. So if I ever do anything, I use a fake name.
Right. Because now everyone loves your names and now you got to be something else.
Or you just are like a weird name. So now just be like, oh, my fake name is Amy.
Well, your whole cast had these exotic names, it feels like. What is that about?
I don't know. I always thought that they did that on purpose. I was like, we don't even care what your personality is. If your name is Topanga, we're putting you on the show. I think that's what it is.
Right, because you were in the tropics and it was Kaya's one, Amaya.
Kaya, Amaya, Ruthie, Tech.
Yeah.
Tech. Oh, my lovely Tech.
Is he your buddy or no?
He's my bud. I haven't talked to him in a bit. I had him on my show as a guest, and that was so fun to see him. And, I always have such love for him.
He's a positive fella, right?
He's really positive, and he has never, ever minced his words about why the hell he did the show. And he's always just upfront, no bullshit, that he's not a liar.
What's he up to?
Huh?
What's he up to?
He's doing Laugh Mob It's a show on True TV, and that's so great. And he's been doing DJ stuff and making appearances for years. So he's solid. He's always himself, and that's
And
great.
whenever you were done with the show, and then you saw the show, did you feel like it was accurate or?
Oh, please. You watch your own show. It's never edited in sequence. I was like, why did something from the third month show up in the second week of the show? Um, and I have to be honest, I didn't see all of my episodes. I also have not seen the majority of the challenges. I can't. When I was doing current television, I rarely watched myself, only if we were like looking at, footage on the go. And I was like, I like that take. I don't like that take, but I don't enjoy watching myself.
Wow. So
It's weird.
what you did see though, you felt like, well, this isn't even how I remember it or how it happened.
I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, really? There was so many things that I said, come on. I really, it would have been nice to have a little bit more input, but our writer was a person who used to write on soap operas. And so she came in and she took all the logs and then she wrote a soap opera script from the pieces. And, they put the pieces together to make a story. The only time I think that you can tell that there's mistakes because I believe it was Justin who would change his hair color. And so that made it obvious sometimes that they were screwing around with the timeline.
I think that was a lot easier to do with Real World because you were in that house, but on our show, it was, driven by what we did that week on a mission.
So
they
yeah.
couldn't do that as much, but I hear a lot of real worlders say like it was totally out of order.
Totally out of order. And they made some things look like things that they were not. And I was just like, come on, I'm not that big of a hoe, you guys.
Why did they want people to think that?
Because it's about drama. And I remember, and I always say this, and I always feel bad because she's rest in peace, Mary Ellis. But, after our show was done, she came up to me and Colin was like, thank you guys for the storyline. And I was like, fuck you, Mary Ellis.
You are kidding me. He thanked them?
Yeah, she thanked us for the storyline.
Oh, she thanked you. Okay.
She thanked us for the storyline. Yeah. And I was like, damn, girl. It's like, now I know what's up. I know how this works. And I had kind of a bitterness from that point, but also like, there's nothing you can do. Frankly, I'm so happy that Snapchat and Insta stories and Twitter and all that crap was not around back then because message boards were bad enough. Like those little like old school message boards were terrible. And you had to stop reading them because you could only see Amaya's hella fat like 5,000 times before being like, oh my God, that's such a great thing to say to somebody who had an eating disorder. But people are cruel. People are so, and that's why I always am telling people like, do not read stuff about yourself.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the people saying it are like 12.
Yeah. And it's just, there's no good that comes from it at all. No. It's not like you can learn about yourself. It's just toxic.
It's toxic.
So, are there people, because everybody says from their season, there's people that you click with, and then they're like, people they'll always be in your life, and then there's others you never hear from again. Is that how it is for you?
Oh, absolutely. Because, but that's life.
Yeah.
People that you were friends with 20 years ago and you don't talk to anymore. But the people that I got to know and love, I love them so very dearly. Yeah. I have so much affection and I'm always there to just tell them how much they mean to me or how great they are. And that's the positive that comes out of it. So I think it's better to take the good things because you can't go back in time. When that does happen though, if teleportation, time travel, that works out, we'll see what's up.
When you were in the midst of the drama that was sort of the touchstone of the whole season, which was Ruthie's alcohol issue, what did it feel like a big deal, or did it feel like what was it like?
I mean, I don't think anybody likes being around anybody or living with anybody who gets belligerently drunk, just anyway. But I mean, that was tough. But it was also for me, who I've always been like that mama bear, big sister type of person, that I hated seeing somebody hurt themselves. And I think that it may have come across not the right way when I initially talked about it, but for me, I was like, this person needs help and they shouldn't be here. And I was more angry at production for keeping her there. At the same time, lots of things were not handled well. Like the day that we had the intervention,
Yeah.
it was St. Patrick's Day. And we, sitting around that room, had all come back from riding on a float in downtown Honolulu and were 3 sheets to the wind.
Right.
Yeah. So here were a bunch of kind of super buzzed ass people trying to tell somebody that they needed to get help for their alcohol problem, which is, I mean, I don't think that 21-year-olds should have been there telling somebody else what to do. It should have been off camera, I think, and then explained in a card or something on screen. There's certain things and that they feel like they have to show for whatever reason, but looking back, there's privacy issues. I have a lot of friends who've been in AA and it's anonymous for a reason.
Yeah.
So it's kind of outing somebody when they're not ready to be outed. So, I think it's hard to handle some of these things delicately when you're trying to go.
Yeah, I don't think they did that, but we all saw what happened. I guess it's like uncharted territory because nobody'd ever really seen anything like that.
No, this was before intervention was on TV and all of that other stuff.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So, do you regret sort of the alleged showmance that you had? Whatever you call that, of infatuation.
My little romantic thing,
which now wouldn't even be important enough to make.
It looks so innocent, so super innocent. I mean, it was good. It was one of those things where it's not Stockholm syndrome. When you're in a situation and like you kind of end up gravitating towards somebody because it's like something to relate to. And there's been so many kind of romances, and we really did like and care about each other, but we're 2 stupid, immature people.
Yeah.
Nobody wants a young 20s romance broadcast to the world. And now looking back on it, you're like, oh my God, it's so embarrassing. But no, it was cute. We had fun. It was dumb. It was drama.
Where is that guy though? He disappeared too.
I think he's a professor. Matt is always saying, do you know whatever happened to Colin? I'm like, I have no idea. It's just like, I don't know where my ex-husband is. So.
Right. Get off my back. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm like, if I don't know where that guy is and I was married to him, I certainly don't know where the hell Colin is.
Wow. I didn't think that. I thought maybe you guys all kept in touch or something.
Yeah.
Oh God. All right. Well, I'll get to the bottom of that. Okay. I'm going to ask you these because you already dealt with the pork, whatever.
Yeah.
We're over that.
Sorry.
We don't want to answer that crap.
And look, I'm the worst Jew. I got a tattoo on Yom Kippur. In Hebrew. I got a Hebrew tattoo on Yom Kippur, and then I ate a cheeseburger afterwards, so I'm like horrible.
Which challenge did you like better, 2000 or Battle of the Sexes?
Oh, 2000. Actually, no, you know what? No.
You're like, I hated them both equally.
I hated them both, but the first one I hated less.
Were you on the one where Puck got married?
Yes.
Tell me everything.
I mean, come on. That dude was too much. There was so much too much on that show. Did anybody talk about yet the thing where all the guys were putting their buttholes up against the pool jets at Battle of the Sexes?
I don't think
and
so.
Like blew the butt out?
I think I'd remember that.
Okay.
Why were they doing it?
Because they're stupid. Because stupid. It's just like that the Jamaican one was funny just for the weird little moments that happened. Like one night we were all out on the beach and there was like tin drums playing and they had like a platform out in the ocean. And I saw somebody on the platform like dancing and I was like, oh my God, it's like Eric Nies on the grind. And it was dancing to the tin drums in the ocean on the water. This is the stupidest thing in the world. But no, I mean, yeah, the second one was garbage. The food, it got to a point where, because they left mayonnaise out all day in the sun and then would give it to us. And that's why all of us got this pukey thing. And so I ended up eating a lot of Kentucky Fried Chicken, popcorn chicken, and mac and cheese.
Right? It's like survival. It's so insane. They do not care. But as long as the footage gets sent back to the production company, they don't care what you eat or if you're safe or anything like that.
No, they don't care if you're feeding bacteria as long as you deliver.
It's sad but true. All right. Okay. And so tell the people what you're up to now and why you'll never do another show.
I'm just, a typical LA person who has like 6 jobs.
Yeah, you're a multi-hyphenate.
I'm a multi-hyphenate. I'm trying to be a voiceover animation person because I like making voices.
Are you single and ready to mingle or what?
God, I've been on a dating sabbatical for a really long time.
On purpose?
Huh?
Oh.
Like I feel like my friends are starting to bully me and tell me it's time to date. But I've been really I felt like I dated everybody. And so I needed a break. And so I haven't even made out with anybody. Like the thought of kissing somebody right now makes me so shy.
Oh my God. It's time.
I just, you know what? A part of it was like I cut my hair and I felt gross. And I was like, I'm date again until my hair grows like 6. Because I cut off like 2 feet of hair to go blonde again. And I was like, fine. Yeah. But no, I don't date.
Wow. We're going to have to change that. Maybe this year, 2018.
I like younger people.
Oh, cougs.
Ooh.
She's cooging it over there.
Yeah, kids.
Tell me one thing that was not on television that you remember, besides Eric Nies dancing, that, was either scandalous or funny or interesting, but nobody really knows about.
God, there's so many things I don't think I can even talk about because I feel like I feel comfortable.
Really?
I want to talk about how one of our castmates in Jamaica disappeared for several days and the production staff thought he died.
Who?
Can't say who it is.
You have to. Why? What happened to the person?
Crazy. Like, I think he went cuckoo crazy. I can't say, but one of our cuckoo crazy people, and I believe it was the same person who blew out his butthole. So my fellow real worlders or road rollers, if you're watching this and remember that challenge, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah.
So that part got put on TV where they blew out their butthole.
So can I say something so disgusting and somebody else would get mad at me?
Please, by all means.
The grossest story on one of my challenges, and I won't say which one, but there's only 2, so it's not that hard. One of my castmates came back and had told us how he went out for a run and he had to take a poo so bad that he finally pulled over, took a poo, that it felt so good to take a poo that he at the same time.
Shut up.
That's the grossest thing. I'm sorry. I'm disgusting, but I find that amazing. I also was like, is that physiologically possible? Like, I don't know if it's like the 2 things are interrelated. Actually, I feel like I see how it could be interrelated, but yeah.
Wow. I did not see that coming.
And a lot of girls would be very upset, and boys too would be very upset to know that this person did this.
Wow. Next time we're out, I'm going to make you tell me who it was. That's crazy. Oh my God, that's a good one. Usually when I ask, people have to really think and it's not like that great. Now you really delivered on that. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we go?
I would like to say that I am a huge supporter of the Me Too movement.
Yes.
And as a person who's been through something funky in the past with industry folks, that just keep on talking. There's different levels of it, but nobody should have to feel violated. It's very important to love yourself. So,
well, we couldn't agree more. Sarah and I have been starting this campaign. We call it "Stop Being Polite." And we are encouraging mostly women, but really anybody who sees injustice or inequality or harassment happening to not be polite and to just say something. Because we're trained often as women to keep the peace and stay polite. And we're kind of taking that phrase back and saying, it's not just about being crude on reality TV. Let's stop being polite about things that really matter.
Start getting real.
And start getting real.
And there is somebody out there who his hypocrisy is going to get called out, and he knows who he is, and he's gross. And
my God, I'm so sorry you had to deal with that.
I really am. Super bad, but telling you things are getting better. I hope.
I hope so too.
And thanks for giving a voice to everybody. And I love that there are two very smart women out there pushing the science, because this nerd loves some science. Keep dropping.
Thank you. Thank you for your support and for being our friend. And it's just sad that we live in the same city, but we might as well not, because you live here.
When you come up here, you just tell me and I'm ready.
Right? Anytime I'm in your zip code, it's like an emergency. Because otherwise we'd never see each other. But this was just as good because I love you.
I love you too.
I like your platinum blonde hair too.
My God, I feel so trollopy.
Sassy. I love a sassy lady. You look great. Well, thank you for coming on our show, and I'll let you know when I post it.
All right.
Bye, friend.
Bye, darling.
Mwah. Bye.